Hi Soul Family, this is Mimi with Divination by Mimi. Welcome to your October 5th, 2017 blood moon, full moon in the second quarter of Aries. I'm going to be doing a very quick 3-card pull from the Universal Rider-Waite-Smith, which is kind of a recolored version of the original Rider-Waite-Smith. And this is a 3-card pull based upon the supernal triangle. This would be the top 3 sephra of the Kabbalistic tree of life, Keter Hokmah Binah. If it is the Egyptian tree of life that you follow, that would be Amen Asur, Tehuti, and Sekert. Or from a psychological Jungian perspective, this would be the superconscious, conscious, and subconscious mind. And this would be finding out what the highest source, our collective, wants us to know, the God source, what's on our mind, and then what signs and symbols to watch for and connections with the subconscious mind that are also communicating to us for our highest good. Just a couple more shuffles. Okay. What does the God source, the highest source, want us, the human and beyond sentient life form collective soul family? What messages do you have for us? Great Hecate, cosmic soul. Oh, there we go. Superconscious. The Emperor in reverse. Sorry about the lighting. It's a bit of a rainy day today. Subconscious. The 9 of Wands in reverse. Subconscious. I'm sorry, that's conscious mind. This is subconscious. The Magician. So on a superconscious level, God's source is letting us know that we need to let go of huge egotistical, controlling, authoritarian tendencies that we may have. Now, being that this is a collective reading, I believe this is calling to all of us. That would be everyone. So when the ego gets involved, which it does pretty much on the daily, we tend to act in a way of perpetual ownership. I personally think it's the lesson of our collective existence at this time and space to get over this. There is a downside to that, obviously. You can see it played out on the world stage, whether it's aggressive, warlike need to obtain things, that constant, never-ending need to obtain more wealth or obtain more land or obtain other people's stuff, other people's things. That's definitely the downfall of the Martian energy. This is, strangely enough, the Aries card, major arcana. 2 major arcana here for us, so important stuff here. Important time, actually, as we get up to the winter solstice. There's a lot of activity, and into the eclipse season into spring of 2018. But I think it's quite interesting that we're getting a reminder of the low octave of the Aryan energy at the blood full moon of Aries. So it's letting us know that the ego, the urgent and impulsive and very often warring and angry nature of Aries, the low octave can cause very bad things. It can cause war. So, and I mean, there's with war on the world stage, it's possible there's a constant threat of it all the time with the egotistical, overly martial, lower octave martial aspects of some world leaders at the moment clashing in these egotistical type of battles. That's very possibly true. Now, I'm doing this the morning of. I believe the full moon goes full at 2. What's the day it goes full? At 2:40 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So obviously watch the news. Nobody really wants to these days, but obviously that we can control what's in our direct world, what we have control over. So watch for this tendency in yourself. Watch for it, unfortunately, on the news, but watch for it in yourself as well. If there's a tendency to have a knee-jerk, angry reaction to something, try to look out for that, because that energy is rife right now, and we're being reminded of that. In addition to that, in the conscious mind, it looks like we're getting weary with fighting some kind of a fight. So this is the Nine of Wands. Sorry, again, it's very dark. It's the way I like it, but it's hard to read sometimes. And we got it in reverse. So it's basically a very tired soldier holding his own. And in reverse, it looks like we're about to give it up. So I think it's actually on our mind to release old concepts, old ideas, old things that have been things we've been like hammering on about. Could be a religious belief, it could be a political belief, but we're reaching the nine is almost the culmination and completion of a cycle of learning. And wands are the fire. Again, fire we're talking about here as well from God source. And I think it's on our mind actually to release, to move away from, to let go of, to give up the ghost in a sense, not to die really, but to give up a fight that is, well, it's tired us, it's injured us, it's oppressed others. It doesn't allow freedom. It doesn't allow personal liberty. To give up this fight that we've been holding on to, because it's injured us. It injures others. It injures us. It keeps us from growing. If you get too caught up in a stagnant idea of whether it's, again, about spirituality, or if it's about politics, or just social things, and it does not allow energy to flow through for new ideas, then when things become stagnant, they die like water. It's no longer good water. It becomes dead in a sense, stagnant, and that's not healthy. So sometimes you have to let go of something you maybe held onto for a long, long time and fought for and argued for a long time. And it's okay to have not had all the answers. If you find that it's what you believed for a long time was wrong, it's okay to let that go. Forgive yourself. Forgive others too, for maybe having they're slower in letting go of old ideas. It's part of this process. Forgiveness, gentleness, fluidity is kind of the name of the game here. God's telling us to do that, and we're kind of feeling that, to let go a little bit. I think fluidity might be the name of the game. Obviously, always compassion. It's always wise. I mean, even if you are a martial energy and you are a warring energy, intelligent strategy will tell you that to constantly fight and acquire and acquire and acquire and acquire, it goes against the balance of nature. And sometimes you have to let it go. And I believe we have that on our mind. So allow that to happen. And allow others to take their time to handle it in the way that they can. Walk away from fights. Because the energy could be quite bad. Blood moon. In the conscious mind, we have another major arcana, the Magician in the upright. Very good Mercury energy. The Magician has everything that he or she needs right here on the table, all four of the elements. And also he has the spirit, the Lemniscati above his head or her head, which would indicate a constant flow, an eternal availability of all of these tools. The manifested nature of earthly things, the coins, the cup, the subconscious feelings, emotions, again, just as an important element in the making, creating, manifesting of things as is the sword, the air, and intellectual and methodical and rational energies, all important. And then the fire. Without the fire, not a lot can happen. That's the wand there on the table. And as you can see, he's making the as above with the wand here, so below. Meaning we have the power. Remember, we have the power to create the world that we want. Don't ever forget that. So when the energies are like this, and I know you can't always control your brother or your sister or your family member of a non-specific gender's their actions. You don't have control of that. You do have control of yourself, and the energy that you put into yourself goes out into the world and emanates and emanates and emanates and emanates and begins to create a vibration in which the rest of the world starts to vibrate. Like clocks in a room, they all tend to, sync up. Put that energy out there. So when you have control, when you have all of the elements and tools at your behest, and you understand the knowledge that of as below, so below, and that it's an eternal, Limnaskati here, it's an eternal thing, Mercury, intellect. It's an eternal knowing. When you know that, and you can create your world, even though it feels like it's out of your control, it's truly, truly not, because you can control yourself, and the actions and thoughts and feelings, particularly that you put out, create the energetic vibration, which is emanated and repeated and repeated and repeated and repeated like a cell dividing into the world. And it creates the high octave of this, active energy for Aries. Okay? So don't be surprised if you see some tenseness, some possible military action. Don't be surprised if you see in your life people and even possibly yourself having any instinct to impulsively act in anger, act in haste. But you kind of know, we all kind of know on a conscious level that it's a waste of this fiery, hot energy that Aries provides, that Martian energy provides. If it's put completely on things of that nature, and obtaining resources and obtaining land and obtaining people and obtaining ego and being right, got to have this, got to have that, letting that, you've got to let that go, because again, it's not part of the natural balance of, it's not the balance of nature. You can never have all good and no bad. You can never have everything and someone else have nothing, because everything will always balance itself out. Nature always balances itself out. In the stars or terra firma, doesn't matter. It's the way. So I think it's pretty clear. Remember, be reminded here, subconscious is reminding you with not too subtle a symbol that we have the power to create our collective world, our individual world and our collective world. To be aware of this low octave Aryan energy, Martian war making, fighting, angry, ego sucking, overly, almost imperialistic of things, colonistic of things. Watch out for that kind of thing, because it not only will play itself out on the world stage, but also in your life. So watch where that happens, and remember, you can create the world you want, and that vibration will emanate through the rest of the world and beyond, and create a much more positive environment. Because we obviously want to let go of these fights, these old ideas that we're so invested in because of such a long time. Even if it makes no sense, we're willing to go to war for, both literally and metaphorically. Okay, I hope that made some sense to everybody. Kind of makes sense to me. Just give people their room. Don't be too quick to get into a fight, and know that you have control over your world, and that we collectively have control over our world. And the tools are always at our hands. They always have been. They always will be. As above, so below. All the tools are there. It's a matter of thinking and feeling the proper things to create what you want, what we want. Do we want war? Do we want peace? Do we want a fecund planet, or do we want a depleted planet? Things like that. I didn't mean to make this, anyway, it almost sounds as though I'm pushing some kind of political agenda, and I suppose I am on some level, a political agenda of balance, and I think it would be fair to say that the world is very, very imbalanced at the moment. Apologies if I've offended anyone. I hope this helped. I will be getting into the first part of I know I'm a little late, sorry. The first part of the month astro readings very soon. I've had some other creative projects going on, and then, of course, the other luminaries or any big planetary moves that are coming. Have a wonderful full moon tonight. Be careful. Don't get into too many fights. Much love to you, to all, and be well. Take care. Bye-bye.